somewhere fun. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Lynn Mettler, aka Go To Travel Gal, and I run the gototravelgal.com blog and website, where my goal is to help folks travel more by spending less. And I do that in showing you the simplest ways possible. I'm all about keeping it simple because I know we're all busy. None of us have tons of time to spend on this hobby of traveling free. So I really narrow it down to my techniques, which I believe are the easiest ways to travel free. So what I thought we would talk about today is Chase Sapphire Preferred, which is my very favorite travel credit card. So those of you who enjoy using credit cards to earn bonus points so that you can travel free, this is one that I think everyone should have. And so I thought I would dedicate a whole Facebook Live just to this particular credit card so I can share with you all about the card. I'm going to tell you how my family uses it as part of our strategy to travel free, and just answer any questions that you might have when it comes to Chase Sapphire Preferred, how to apply for it, etc. So I'm just going to take a quick moment here, and I am going to share my screen. Let's see here if I can do that from here. Share. Hang with me just one second. All right, and then I also want to be sure to let me pull up myself on video on my phone so that I can see your guys' questions. That's the way I have to look for comments. So let me pull that up. Let me turn myself down. All right. Hey, Linda, I see that you're here. Thanks for joining me. All right. Yes, agreed. Memorial Day is mostly a zoo when traveling. So even if you're driving, the roads are going to be packed, and it's going to be packed at the airport too, right? All right. So Chase Sapphire Preferred. So this is my absolute favorite travel credit card. It is super flexible. It helps my family travel further on Southwest, and it has a very minimal annual fee, and it gives you significant bonus points. So I think it's a great starter card. And I have a travel credit card plan that I recommend. Particularly, it's designed for those who want to fly Southwest as part of their traveling free strategy. And so Chase Sapphire Preferred comes in number 3 in my travel credit card plan. So I recommend that you first get a Southwest personal card, a Southwest business card, because those two cards can help you the most quickly get the Southwest Companion Pass, which allows one person to fly free with you for the length of the pass, which can be up to 2 years, and you can keep earning that over and over again. So that, I think, is the simplest thing to do when it comes to traveling free, because that totally eliminates the cost of one person in your traveling party to fly. So that's the biggest savings that you're going to find. And if you can quickly and easily earn that companion pass, that is the easiest thing you can do in terms of eliminating some of the costs of travel. So those are my number 1 and my number 2. And number 3 is Chase Sapphire Preferred, because it really does help extend your Southwest travel, and it can be used for other purposes as well. So let's click on, I did want to mention that if you decide to apply for any of the cards that we're talking about today, of course, our main topic is Chase Sapphire Preferred. I would love it if you would use my affiliate link, which allows me to earn a commission at no cost to you. You get the very same deal, but it helps support my blog, and it helps support videos like this so that I can keep giving you lots of free information. So all you do to apply for any cards that you're interested in is you visit gototravelgal.com, and then you can click on the travel credit cards link that you see there. And from there, you can find the card that you're looking for. But they usually have Chase Sapphire Preferred very prominently displayed. It's going to take you to a website called Card Ratings that you'll know you're in the right place if you end up there. But it should be easy to find Chase Sapphire Preferred. You can also use links within my posts as well to apply for cards. But this is an easy way to do it, is just to start at the travel credit cards link link in the main menu. And I also have put together a link where you can access all of my posts on Chase Sapphire Preferred. If you visit gototravelgal.com/Chase Sapphire Preferred altogether, that will pull up a list for you of all my posts about this awesome credit card. So you can read all that I have written about it already. So anyway, it's never required that you use my affiliate link, but I certainly appreciate it if you do. All right, so Chase Sapphire Preferred earns what are called Chase Ultimate Rewards points. These are flexible points that can be transferred to different airlines and to different hotel groups as well. And I see Charles joined us as well. So welcome, Charles. Glad to have you on today. So here are the airline partners that you can transfer your Chase Ultimate Rewards to, and they do transfer over at a 1-to-1 ratio. So one Chase Ultimate Rewards point equals one airline mile or airline point, however they count it. So number one, of course, is Southwest, and this is the majority of our strategy of using this card is to earn more points that we can use to book Southwest flights. Now, I want to point out very, very clearly, because over and over and over and over, people email me this question or they make this mistake. When you transfer points that you've earned from Chase Sapphire Preferred, so any Chase Ultimate Rewards points over to Southwest, they do not qualify for the companion pass. Do not qualify for the companion pass. You can use them to book free flights on Southwest, but they don't count as part of those 110,000 points that you need to book to collect your Southwest companion pass to earn that pass. So they don't qualify for that. So just remember that. You want to earn your qualifying points first, and then you can start using this card. And I'll tell you more about how we do it in a minute. But number two, and this is second on our list of priorities, is Aer Lingus. And we'll talk more about this in a minute as well. But we like to try to travel to Europe every year or two. And so we use Aer Lingus points, which are called Avios, in order to do that. So Aer Lingus has a great deal where you can earn 26, or you can redeem 26,000 Avios, their miles, round trip per person during their off season to go to Europe. And you have to fly to Dublin. So you fly from many different cities in the US, major cities, and then you can go to Dublin for 26,000 miles round trip. So anyway, I'll get into that in more detail. But so this is a good way for us to collect points that can be moved over to Aer Lingus to take advantage of that when and if we're ready to do another Europe trip. It also can transfer over to British Airways, and British Airways and Aer Lingus are partners. They both collect Avios, so they can easily be transferred between each other as well. And then you'll see some of the other airlines. The other major American airline there is United, that you can take advantage of, and JetBlue. A lot of people like to fly them as well. All right, and they also can be used for to book hotels as well. So you can transfer them to a variety of different hotel programs. So if you end up with extra points and you're not using them to fly Southwest or for another purpose like us for Europe, go ahead and use them to book hotel points. Or it can even be helpful, like if you have some IHG points or some Marriott points and you just need to top them off to get you to that free night or free couple nights, just move a few over from Chase Ultimate Rewards. And I will say, I haven't tried to move it over to hotels, but when you move Chase Ultimate Rewards over to Southwest points, when you make that transfer, it happens instantly. I think they say it's supposed to happen within 24 hours, but it's there within a minute. I've never had it not be there that quickly. And it's really, really simple to transfer points over. You just log into your Chase account and you click on your awards points. You'll see that in there. And then you just say that you want to redeem points, and then you want to transfer points, and then it'll give you all your options of the different airlines and the different hotels. And so you do have to transfer them over in 1,000-point increments. That's a little bit annoying if you have, like, 10,600 points and you wanted to transfer over that whole amount. You can only transfer 10,000. So just keep that in mind. You may have to transfer more than you need to cover yourself. Usually that's the case. But then you just put in your amount and you click transfer and you're done. And you also can transfer points between spouses. So for example, my husband has Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is the more upgraded expensive annual fee version of this card. And so we can merge points if ever we need to for free within the Chase Ultimate Rewards system. I think you just have to have the same address. Whereas if you're trying to merge Southwest points, they charge you to do that. So it's good to kind of merge them here, and then you can transfer them over to whoever's Southwest account you want. So that's a little tip for you. And let's see, what do I have as my next slide? Yes, so that's what I wanted to get into next. So sort of all about this card. So Chase Sapphire Preferred, they used to have no annual fee. So they've changed that this year. So be aware of that. There is now a $95 annual fee, but I still think that is super reasonable for what you get out of this card. Used to, you had to spend $4,000 in the first 3 months and you got 50,000 points. So now that they've added the annual fee, you get 60,000 points instead. So I think that's a fair trade-off. And so you just spend the minimum $4,000 in the first 3 months, and you get that 60,000 points, and you can go very far on 60,000 points on Southwest. So we are often able to book trips for, we've done it for as low as 7,500 points round trip, like to New York City from Indianapolis. We even did one that was less. It was more like 4,000 or 5,000 from Fort Lauderdale to Grand Cayman round trip. So you can see you can stretch that pretty far. And if you have the companion pass, basically every point you earn here is worth double, because you can bring one person free with you on that point. For every point you earn, someone else comes with you free. So you can really, really take these far. Again, they have no foreign transaction fee, so I think that's important to point out. If you're traveling internationally at all, particularly in the Caribbean or to Europe, anywhere, there's no foreign transaction fees. And you want to know that because this card earns 2 times points on dining and travel. So if you're traveling or you're eating out and you're in a foreign country, you can go ahead and use this card and know you won't be charged any extra fees. It'll be just like using it in the US. So I think that's important to know. So it's very simple. There's nothing complicated here. Again, that's why I like it. It's very clear what you get. You get 2 times points, whereas if you're spending on the Southwest card, you just get 1 point, unless you're buying something on Southwest or with one of their travel partners. So you only get 1 point for every dollar spent. Here you're getting 2 points for every dollar spent on dining and travel. And we're probably just going to have this card if we like to travel. So probably we're going to be spending some travel expenses, even if we're not paying for airfare or hotels. Okay, so hey, Dennis is here. Hey, good to have you. And Tammy is here, so welcome guys. Glad you joined me today. Please pipe in if you have any questions about this card as we're going along, and I'll be checking for comments here. So I wanted to just share a little bit about how my family uses this card as part of our Flyfree strategy. So here's what we do. So we pretty much earn the companion pass. Again, so one of my family members can fly free always every year. And the reason I do it that way is the very first time I earned the companion pass, I had to earn it later in the year because we were in the process of buying a house, and I didn't want to apply for too many cards before we did that, because even though it's a minimal impact, it can drop your credit score by even just a few points. And when you're buying a house, you want to get the absolute lowest interest rate possible, and they base that on your credit score. So I just didn't in any way want to mess with that. So I waited until we finished that process to get our second Southwest card and get our companion pass. And so by the time I met the minimum spend, it was at the end of the year, it was in December. So I've continued to just be able to earn enough points the following year to earn my next companion pass. So we are on companion pass number 4. And just on that note, the first year that I did it was the only year that I applied for the Southwest cards. I've been able to do it every year since then without applying for any new Southwest cards. So I still have those original ones that I applied for 4 years ago and got the bonus points on. So what we do is we make sure that we have earned our companion pass points first for most things. So we're looking for those 110,000 points, and we will do some spending on our Southwest cards, particularly things that are not dining and travel. because you just earn the 1 point per dollar on the Southwest cards, right? I would rather earn the 2 points per dollar on Chase Sapphire Preferred, or on 3 points per dollar on dining and travel on my husband's Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is, again, is the upgraded version of this card, but it has a $450 annual fee. So we do try to use these cards when we're dining and traveling so that we can earn like double or triple the points. And I'm here to tell you those points add up pretty quickly. And then we have this nice bank of points in Chase Ultimate Rewards that we can transfer over if we need more Southwest points to book flights, or if we're saving up for a trip to Europe, to use them to transfer over to Aer Lingus to take advantage of their 26,000 mile round trip off peak season deal. So those are my 3 primary cards that I use: my Sapphire, my Southwest Personal, my Southwest Business, Chase Sapphire Preferred, and my husband's Chase Sapphire Reserve. You know, I like to keep it simple, and that is mostly what we do. I do have some Marriott cards, which were SPG cards, because I used those to get us to a couple of free events through their SPG Moments program. Like, we went to see a Cubs game at Wrigley Field, and we sat in the SPG suite, and that was awesome. And we also used them to get second row seats at School of Rock on Broadway in New York City. Now, they don't have that program anymore where they let you get Broadway tickets through SPG Moments, but they can do a ton of stuff with Cubs. And there's all kinds of concerts and, you know, NBA basketball and hockey and festivals and different things that you can go to using your points. So that's why I have those and why I use those, but I don't use those as a regular part of my strategy anymore. So it's mainly these 4 cards, and you can do it with these 4 cards if you have the same goals we do, which is to travel throughout the US, travel throughout the Caribbean. Southwest even flies, you know, into Central America, and then to go to Europe. That's pretty much what we want to do. So I'm not a great person to follow if you want to fly, figure out how to do it free to India and Africa and the Middle East, more exotic countries like that. But my strategies can certainly help you get all over the country. And again, we do this year after year. We're on year 4 here of continuing to fly free. Every now and then we'll pay for a flight. But for the most part, we are flying almost entirely free, a family of 4. So that's how Chase Sapphire Preferred fits into our strategy. And again, just remembering that when you do spend it on dining and travel and you earn those double points, they don't qualify for the companion pass. But I do like to have them so that we can book free flights. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about flying to Europe on miles and our strategy of doing that. So again, it's on Aer Lingus, which is the airline of Ireland. And so you can fly from major cities in the US, which includes DC and Boston, I believe Philadelphia, definitely JFK in New York City, I think Newark as well, and Chicago. And Hartford, Connecticut. And I think there's a few other that they've added since then. So what we did was we flew out of Chicago to Dublin. So you have to fly to Dublin, and then you can get wherever you're going in Europe. From Dublin to Paris is what we did next, or wherever you're going. It's easy hop over to London, or you can fly down into Italy from there. And those are actually very cheap. So we spent our 26,000 miles per person round trip. And the year we did this, we took advantage of the Chase Sapphire Reserve offer, which was 100,000 points, which was just enough to get all 4 of us to Europe on 1 card sign up. So we did Chicago to Dublin. And then again, it's during their off-peak season, but that is 2/3 of the year. So it pretty much goes through about the 2nd week in June. So we just planned our trip like as soon as our kids were out of school, and then we stayed literally to the last possible date we could book it back and still get the 26,000 miles deal in June. So the holiday weeks are out. There's like a week or 2 in April that are out. And then that mid-June to like I think it's early September actually is peak season. But other than that, like during the fall months, which is one of the best times to travel to Europe, things are much cheaper then. And the weather is mild, so it's really nice. That's a great time you could take advantage. Just know you're not going to be able to do it again over the holidays. But so once we got to Dublin, we then used some points, and this is where our Marriott card came in and was handy, was they allow you to transfer Marriott points to airline miles. So you can transfer them over to British Airways and then on to Aer Lingus. And they give you 5,000 bonus miles for every 20,000 miles you transfer. So I believe it's 60,000 points equals 20,000 miles. And then when you transfer those 60,000 points over, they throw in a bonus 5,000 miles. So again, that's a pretty good deal because you're getting like free miles for doing nothing. So that's what we did because we had some points on Marriott at the time, and we transferred those over, and we were able to use those points then to pay for our flights within Europe. And it's only like 6,000 to 7,000 miles per way, say, to fly from Dublin to Paris, and it's based on distance. So it's maybe a little bit more if you're going to fly down to Greece from Dublin. It's going to be less if you're flying to London. But we were doing one-way flights, kind of, skipping throughout Europe. And so we were able to use those to keep flying Aer Lingus, 2 more flights throughout Europe. And then we did pay for 1 flight on Ryanair, and that cost us about $320 for all 4 of us to fly, for the baggage fees. And I think we even paid like for early boarding because we'd heard it was sort of a cattle call. And it really wasn't. I wouldn't pay for that again. Certainly nothing luxurious on Ryanair. That's a very discount airline in Europe, but it got us from point A to point B, and it did so, quickly and efficiently without any frills for sure, but it was just fine. So that's kind of my strategy on Europe. So I like to have those in my account. And there are other ways you can supplement and get more of these Avios. Again, is what Aer Lingus, that's their miles currency, and it's the British Airways currency. So there's the British Airways credit card, there's the Aer Lingus credit card, and there is Iberia is their third partner. All 3 of those collect Avios, and you can then transfer them between one another. So you can take advantage of any 3 of those cards. And I don't think they have bonuses right now, but I think the deal is you can spend like up to $10,000 and get like triple points or something like that on each card, so that you can still earn that bonus. You just have to do it through more spending. So those are cards. You could pick 1 of those cards or 2 of those cards. They're all Chase cards. So when you're doing Chase cards, you want to remember the 524 rule, which says Chase will not approve you for any of their cards if you've opened 5 or more credit cards of any type, not just Chase cards, in the last 24 months. So you want to check your credit report. You can visit gototravelgal.com/credit-sesame if you want to do that for free, and see how many cards you've opened in the last 24 months, so you'll know if you'll be approved or not. If you have opened 5 or more cards, most business cards don't count. So Amex business cards don't count. I believe Citi business cards don't count, and Chase business cards don't count toward the 5. So you don't have to count those in there. But if you have 5 or more other cards, they're not going to approve you. So you're just going to need to wait until it's been more than 24 months since you've opened 5 cards. The other thing to keep in mind with Chase is that you have to spread your applications apart by 30 days. So they will decline you if you have applied for more than 1 card in 30 days. So keep those 2 things in mind. And again, I always recommend that you get the Southwest cards first, because they're Chase as well, because that can get you your companion pass. And that's the best deal going in travel to help you fly around the US and the Caribbean. And then you get your Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then you consider some other Chase cards. So that way you're not in that 524 problem. And you've sort of spread things out. So you can consider Chase cards like these, the Aer Lingus, the British Airways, or Iberia, or Disney has a card. And then of course there's some good hotel cards from Chase as well. So figure out what's most important to you in terms of your plan, and make that your number 4. All right, I'm going to check for, I don't see any more comments. So I'm about to wrap this up. So this would be a good time if you have a question about Chase Sapphire Preferred, or about just travel credit cards overall and your strategy. Feel free to pipe in the comments and let me know. Again, if you do decide to apply for any travel credit cards, and shoot me an email if you have any other questions that you want to address. If you're confused about anything, you can email me at lynn@gototravelgal.com. It's LYN, just 1 N. But again, if you do decide to apply for any, I super appreciate it if you use my affiliate link, and you'll find it at gototravelgal.com, and then just that travel credit cards box you see here in the main menu. And from there, you'll be taken to card ratings. That's the right spot, and you can find any card that you're looking for. Most cards are on there. There might be a few that you can't find, but let me know if you don't see something, and I can tell you if it should be there or not. You can also visit any of the links in my articles on Go To Travel Gal, and that will take you to card ratings as well. So this just lets me earn a commission at no cost to you. You get the same deal as you would going another direction, going through another website, but it helps support me being able to bring you these free videos and free blog posts and my email newsletter and all that. So I super appreciate it if you do use these. You don't have to ever, but it's much appreciated if you do. All right, yeah, and here's just a list of some of the other Chase card options that I was talking about that would be sort of number four in your list of what cards to apply for if you have that goal of flying free on Southwest around the country. So there'd be Marriott, World of Hyatt, IHG, and that is Intercontinental Hotels Group. So they own Holiday Inn and Hotel Indigo, Even Hotels, Intercontinental, Crown Plaza. What else am I missing there? They own some major properties. Disney's cards are Chase, and the United Explorer and Mileage Plus, which I would recommend skipping, but I don't think United is a great airline if you want to fly free. All right, so I think that is all I've got for you today when it comes to Chase Sapphire Preferred. So thanks to everyone for watching. I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. And also don't forget, if you want to read more about Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can read all my posts by going to gototravelgal.com/Chase Sapphire Preferred, just all together. And that will bring up a list of all of my posts about this credit card and really lay out for you in detail all the different benefits about it. So if you have any questions, let's see, Linda says, why would you skip the Explorer card? I just am not a fan of United's program. And so I guess if you fly United, you would want to have a United card because it does get you, I believe, the free baggage. You don't have to pay for the baggage credit, and you do get some benefits. But I just think of all of the airlines, the major US airlines, United is the worst when it comes to trying to book free flights on points. So I think I would just skip it just because I'm not a fan of United's program overall. All right, so again, I will wrap it up for now, and I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you next week. All right, have a good one.